Okay, this is my third time filming this, and if I don't get it now, I'm ready to throw hands. Okay, hey kids, Angela here, and I am back with another video for you today. I thought it would be fun for me to share with you how I edit using iMovie. I've been on YouTube for quite some time now. I started my channel back in 2016 when I posted my very first vlog, which is now privated because it is so cringy. I might do like a reacting to old videos video at some point in time. So like subscribe if that's something you want to see. It's free. So anyway, I have gotten a couple questions on what I use to edit, and it's iMovie. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you all of the tips and tricks I have accumulated over the years to get this said result. So before we dive into the full editing process, I'm gonna walk you through sort of the equipment I use. The first being my camera. I'm currently filming on the Canon G7X Mark II, and this is a great camera, especially if you're starting out. It is quite expensive, I will say. I think it costs around $700 or $800, which is very pricey, but the quality of this camera truly is amazing, and I'm so satisfied with the results it has given me over the years. The only thing I will say about this camera is that you can't attach an external mic anywhere, so if that is something you are really wanting, this probably isn't the camera for you. So a sort of solution to the sound quality problem that I have is using my iPhone as a microphone. You can use the free voice memos app that you have on your iPhone to record your audio. Now the whole syncing up of that is a bit of a nightmare. I don't use my iPhone as a microphone for every single video. I mostly use it just for sit down videos because it's sort of easier to match up the sound with the video. For vlogs, I just have to settle for the in-camera microphone, which in itself is great. But I've noticed a lot of background noise coming from my in-camera microphone. It sort of picks up on that, and it's really hard to edit out. So when I can, I do use my iPhone as a microphone. Another thing I really recommend if you are planning to be a YouTuber of sorts is a tripod. Balancing your phone or whatever on different surfaces gets really tiring after a while, so having a tripod is brilliant and I would recommend it. I just got one from Amazon. Now to where I actually do the editing. I use my MacBook Air. This I got in 2016 and she's still working just fine for me. And I also edit off of an external hard drive because the storage on this thing is not really sufficient for housing gigabytes and gigabytes of video footage and all that jazz. Having an external hard drive is definitely a must, so definitely get one if you don't have one yet. We are ready to start. So I've already made a how I edit event, which is where I'm gonna put all the clips and other things, music that I use in this video. So to start things off, obviously you want to open iMovie, and once you've done that, you're going to import media, and then we're just going to plop that into our timeline. Now usually right away I will max out the volume to 400% because I noticed in the past a lot of my videos have been very quiet, and a quiet video is not something people enjoy watching. I posted a couple a while back and my friends were like, dude, this is way too quiet. I'm on max volume. I can barely hear you. And I was like, uh-oh, that's embarrassing. The video is still up on my channel, but like I've learned from my mistake, and now I'm passing that information on to you. Sound quality beats video quality 100%. Obviously, it's nice to have a crisp HD image, but I think viewers are willing to sacrifice video quality so long as your sound quality is also good, which is why I suggest using your iPhone as a microphone. Now, the number one thing, and probably my least favorite part of editing, is going through all the footage and sort of clearing out all the ums and uhs, even the breaths. I have noticed a lot of like sniffles in my videos, and I know that really bothers some people, so I just edit those out, and it's not that hard. I've never heard anyone mention this. Using the arrow keys, you can go frame by frame, and so if you really want to get like down to the millisecond, you can do so using the left and right arrow keys. So just to cut my clip, I press Command B. I will scrub through the silence until I start talking again. Press Command B again and delete this. See, that's a whole 1 second of just silence. Nobody wants to experience that. So you delete it, obviously. And there again, I just did so I'm gonna cut that out. And there's me again, just not doing anything. And that was 3 seconds long. 3 seconds of just me going like, gross. Nobody needs to see that. So you want to edit that out. Okay, now that we have that, I'm gonna show you how I do the little crop things or the Ken Burns. Now, in this last section here, I would probably do like a Ken Burns, slowly just zooming in onto my face. And to do that, I'm gonna select the clip, go up here to the crop function, select Ken Burns, and just shrink this end square rectangle until it's right about there. I kind of want to make this section not like that, so I'm just going to reverse that. I go to the crop function again, click fit, or you could click reset right here, and that will revert your clip back to normal. I can't really describe when I would do a bit of a crop on a clip. I just will do it, but I can show you how to do that otherwise. You go back to the crop section, you go crop to fill, and kind of just, you know, make this a bit smaller. And I'm gonna center it on my face like so. When you watch it over, and there you have it. Sometimes I will add transitions between clips, and the transition I will usually use is cross blur. Sometimes at the start I will put cross blur, but there are tons of transitions, and I like to use cross dissolve when I'm like doing sort of a time-lapse kind of clip. So like, let's say I'm sitting at my desk studying, making notes. I'll speed that clip up, sort of chop it in the middle, trim it down, put in the cross dissolve transition, and then it'll look like as if time passes. Does that make sense? And I feel like that's pretty much it for the kind of rough cut. Once my whole rough cut is done, I will usually add some music, like if there is, again, a time-lapse portion. You obviously don't want to sit through silence during a montage of videos or something like that. And I'm going to give you a little inside scoop of where to find some really good copyright music. So you're gonna want to open up your YouTube studio. You're gonna go to this section right here. You're gonna scroll and you see audio library, click on that. This is YouTube's sort of library of copyright-free music that you are free to use in your videos, and you don't have to worry about the possibility of a song you use eventually becoming copyrighted and therefore you're unable to use it in your videos. I have heard of a few horror stories of YouTubers using like the same song in every single video, and now all of a sudden it's getting copyrighted and they've used it in like 20 videos. So in order to avoid that, go to the copyright free library. This is a great tool that I feel like not a lot of people know about, but there are literally thousands of songs to fit any genre, any mood you're trying to fulfill. If you want like a specific instrument in your videos, you can filter that. My favorite genre is the jazz and blues genre, but as you can see here, like there are tons of new songs that YouTube has updated this with, and if you check back every single day, there will be new songs added every single day for tons of different genres. So whatever you like, you can find it here in the audio library. And this is a brilliant tool that I've been using recently to find songs for my videos, and it's nice to kind of get that worry off your chest. If you're not sure a song is copyrighted or not, YouTube Audio Library is a brilliant tool. Otherwise, I will just go to SoundCloud and find smaller artists. This, I'm not gonna try to pronounce that because I don't know any Korean, but this artist has amazing beats that are perfect for videos. And what I will usually do is if I find an artist I like, I will go to this section, fans also like so-and-so, and I will just listen and do the same thing over and over again until I find songs I like. There are also a bunch of like copyright-free YouTube accounts that will repost copyright-free music, and same on SoundCloud, and those are also great resources to use to find copyright-free music. And chances are, if you find an artist whose song is copyright-free, the rest of their songs will also be copyright-free, so that's kind of a little hack for you there. Let's just use one from Audio Library just for fun. I'm gonna go to jazz and blues because that's my favorite genre. Ease Jammy Jams is one of my favorite artists on this YouTube audio library, but it's so easy to download these songs. You literally just click this download button and it's ready to go. Import that into the library, and then you do the same thing. You drag and drop that into this lower half. And obviously you don't want to play your music at full volume. I've seen a lot of people do this, unfortunately, but you want to turn down the volume of the clip because then you can't hear yourself talk. So I usually will pull this down to maybe like 1 or 2%. So it's quite enough for you to like barely hear it, but still hear it, but also quiet enough for you to hear yourself talk. And one thing that's nice, if you go to these little balls here, you can drag them out so that if you want your music to kind of fade in, this will do that for you. You can also do that with keyframes. If you just alt click on a portion, you can add a keyframe. Same thing, alt click here, and then you can kind of adjust the volume you want. Like let's say you want your like intro bit to be louder, so you'll increase the volume for your intro bit, create a keyframe, create another keyframe, and then you can do that. And this is where my sort of outro is gonna go. And then for that, you obviously want the music to be a little louder, but not too loud so that it hurts the eardrums of the listener. You want it to be at a comfortable volume. Now, at the end of my videos, I don't really do a thank you guys for watching kind of thing, and that also depends on the video, but since I've been posting a lot of vlogs lately, I haven't really done that. But I still like to, you know, greet my viewers. In order to do that, I will just put in like a slide of just text that says, thanks for watching, check out my other videos, subscribe, all that jazz. And to do that, I'm going to need my iPad. This is my iPad Air, another very useful tool. If you don't have an iPad, your iPhone also works great, smartphone, whatever you have, but it's nice having a bigger screen to work with. So the app I use to make sort of all of my titles and slides is called Over. So I'm just gonna open that up and I'm gonna create a new project. And what's nice about Over is that you can like change the size of whatever. I use 16:9 because that's the width size of like a video, but I'm gonna change the background color. You can literally pick any color of the rainbow. Let's go with this pink one, but I would prefer a more pastel-y pink than neon, so that's something you can do. Maybe let's go orange. I like that color. So I'm gonna use this color, brilliant, and then I'm gonna add some text that's gonna say, that's all for today, kids. Brilliant, but that looks kind of boring, right? With Over though, there are tons and tons of different kinds of fonts for you to choose from, which is great. Railway is my go-to, and I like this bold version the best. I'm going to change the color to white, and that's all that I have to do. And then I'm going to export this to my MacBook. That's the beauty of having all Apple devices, is that it's so easy to airdrop things and exchange files from one device to another. So once that's done, I'm going to create another slide that says, please subscribe and check out my other videos. And I might use an emoji or something, and I will just center this at sort of the top. Same thing, I can export that to my MacBook, and it's easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I'm really getting out of breath here, guys. I'm going to open Finder. I'll just drag that in, and same with this one, drag that in, and boom. Now, the really annoying thing that iMovie does is it automatically, like, does this Ken Burns thing on every single thing you insert into iMovie. That really bothers me, but just to do that, you go to the crop button, press fit, and you're good to go. Same thing for this one, press fit, you're good to go. And then it will look like this. Now, I don't really like that jumpy transition, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the cross dissolve filter, transition rather, right in between these two clips so that it kind of flows nicely like that. And then to, again, do a transition, I will do the cross blur here, boom, like that. Now, sometimes I like to add like the date, let's say, or other sort of titles and captions in my video, and iMovie like does have a decent amount of, you know, titles, but they don't have just a plain like pop-up thing. You know what I mean? So I'm going back to my iPad and back to the Over app. This time we're going to create a transparent thing that is again 16 by 9, and we're going to create a text thing, June 12th, 2020. We're back in iMovie to just get this into the thing. I'm literally just gonna drag it here. Now again, iMovie likes to do Ken Burns for some reason. I don't know why. Like if I wanted Ken Burns, I would use Ken Burns, but I don't want Ken Burns anyway. And then it just appears on my thing like that, which is so fun. Sometimes I want it to fade in. To do that, you can either go here, select the fade thing, and then do that, but I just go here to these two dots and pull it till it gets to about 1 millisecond so that it kind of fades in. Now for a clip that might be a little bit hard to hear, I will also add like subtitles at the bottom using the same method. I will go into Over. You don't have to use Over, I just use Over. Fonto is another great text option. Create a new thing. I say, so that's really great. I'm going to type that out using my fingers and I'll put that in quotation mark, bold it just a little bit, change it to white and bring it down to the bottom, and that is usually it. If I think it's gonna be really hard to read, which it sometimes is, I will add like a drop shadow. I'm gonna export it to my MacBook. I'm gonna drag it in here and I'm gonna time it, just drag it so that it pops up only to that section, and again remove the Ken Burns, and that's all you have to do for that, and it's nice and visible due to the drop shadow. Other things I like to add into my videos are like my Instagram handle, telling people to subscribe. I'll usually flash it up across the screen at various points in the video. I wondered for the longest time how people get like this camcorder kind of screen or other kinds of like effects on their videos. I've always wondered.
Dinner.
Okay.
More than here.
Really? Okay. Anyways, a really easy thing you can do is go to YouTube and just search up camcorder green screen, and there are gonna be tons here. Whatever one suits your fancy, you can use. You know what? I think I'm just gonna go with this one. It has no sound or anything, which is great. But you're gonna copy that link, search up YouTube to MP3. I always use this site, and I think lots of people do too. It's the ytmp3.cc. Not only can you convert YouTube videos into MP3 files, but you can also do so to MP4 files. Paste that link and convert it. Then you're gonna download it. And don't worry, this site is perfectly safe and fine, I think. And then we're just gonna go back into iMovie and drag it onto our video. And you're probably wondering, like, you can't see anything. Well, select this, okay? You're gonna go up here where it says cutaway. You're gonna select green/blue screen, and boom. You have yourself a camcorder. Okay, great, right? And of course it's super long. You can use Command B to cut it and delete whatever you don't need. Isn't that amazing? And you can search tons of other green screen effects, whatever you want to use. It's probably available for you. Now, recently, I've also been incorporating some gifs here and there, and a couple of my friends even asked me, like, how do you do that? And I've seen lots of YouTubers starting to do that in all their videos, which is super cool. And I'm going to show you how I do that with my iPad and my Apple Pencil. And to do that, I use the app called Procreate. Now there is an iPhone equivalent to Procreate. I think it's Procreate Pocket. It's probably going to be a little bit more difficult to make a GIF on your iPhone just because it's a smaller screen. I'm going to create a new project that is this size, the 16 by 9 dimension, and I'm going to make my background transparent. The pen I mostly use is either the monoline pen or the brush pen in the calligraphy category of brushes. Today, let's try our monoline. You can change the pen size to however you want. I'm just going to use white, and I'm going to write hello. Okay, once we have our one thing, I'm going to create a new layer and just write over top of it. Now, it shouldn't be like identical, because if it is identical, it's not going to look like it's moving. And then I'm gonna do that a couple times. I'll usually make like 3 to 4 layers, and just go like that. That's all you really need to do. Once you're done, you're gonna go to the wrench up here, share. You're gonna want to go to share layers, and you can export whatever you just made as an animated GIF or an animated PNG. I usually go for animated PNG. I'm not really sure why, but it just looks a bit better. And right now it looks pretty crazy, but you can change the frame rate. I usually go to about 7, and look how cute that is. Look at how cute that is. So I'm gonna export that. Same thing, airdrop it to my MacBook. Easy money. And then we're gonna plop that into my video. Just gonna drag what we just airdropped into my thing, and this whole thing is literally like I don't even know how many seconds, 0.5 seconds. But I'm just gonna copy and paste it a bunch of times. I love that so much. Okay, sometimes I'll make an intro, sometimes I won't. To do so, I'll just take a bunch of clips from the video and put them at the beginning over music, and I'll usually have that camcorder filter on top, or at least like some kind of filter. There are like voice filters you can add here, audio effects and video effects. The one that I use sometimes is raster. It looks kind of like a old screen, so I might put that over this clip where we have the camcorder effect, and it looks like it's like from an old camera. Isn't that cool? Now, one of the last things I do sometimes is I'll change the audio, and to do that you just go to this same place where we found the raster video filter. There are also audio filters, like this robot one, and there are just like tons that you have access to. Definitely like don't overdo it on the filters. I know some people, Antonio Garza, really like to push editing in your face. Like sometimes I feel like, ooh, am I adding like too many filters and effects? Is this gonna like freak people out? And then I think of Antonio Garza and I'm like, oh, just kidding. I think he really overdoes it with editing, I will say. Sometimes I like to do the me editing thing. So to do that, I will go to over again, do the same thing we did for the other, like this sort of end slides. So we'll go to my iPad, go to over, create a new thing that says me editing. And then I go like this, and then I choose the same really bold font, change it to white, and just put it at the top here. Perfect. And again, I airdrop this to my MacBook, sensing a theme here. And then I will put this into the timeline. Again, get rid of the Ken Burns. This is not a clip of me editing, but it's just me talking. I will just drag this over top. Let's trim that up a little bit. You can obviously extend it to however long you want it to be. And right now, all you're seeing is that this clip is covering the text slide thing. So to fix that, you're gonna go to this tool, the same place where we changed the green screen, but you're gonna scroll down to picture in picture, and right now you have a tiny box, but you can make that bigger, center that, and boom. And as you can see, it did that fade thing. To get rid of that, you can just use these bubbles. And I apologize for the lighting change yet again. That's the one thing with natural light, you cannot control it. And if that's something that really bothers you, definitely invest in some studio lights, ring lights, whatever it is. We can watch this thing.
Now I have Savage stuck in my head. Grassy.
There is a little mistake here. I'm just gonna move these keyframes. That's the beauty of keyframes, is that you can move them around. And that is the final video. Isn't that great? Woo. I think I'm gonna do a separate video for thumbnails because I'm still kind of figuring out what I want my channel to look like. I think that's really important in the whole YouTube scene, is having a cohesive look to your channel. But aside from that, I think I've covered all the bases. I hope you found this video helpful because it certainly took me a long time to get to this level, and I thought it would be rude of me not to share this information with all of you guys. So if you found this helpful, please let me know and subscribe if you are interested in seeing more of this. And with that, I will see you in my next video. Bye!